Hi, welcome to another video on my Arduino Mega2560 with electronics and some fischertechnik parts. Last time I had the idea to create this motor driven switch as a sequel to this one. The problem is I don't have a chain anymore, or at least not enough chain links to create one. So I figured that I would use some wheels. However, the problem that I can cope with using chains, I can't do the same with these wheels. Chains are dealt with gears, so they keep walking and don't run off, if it is alright. And with this rope there's no such thing. So what I want to do is, as you can see, hopefully, that the front is in another position than the back. So I want to make sure that they are at the same level. And I think this way is to see it best way. This one is just left of this one. So I'm going to take this one off the gear and have this at the same level. For this I have two plastic rods. So let me put the power down for a little. And I have to change here a little bit. So clamp comes off, and then with this I have to take off the gear, push this one down, and then I have to push one in here and one in here, and then hopefully when I put the gear back on it matches. Or to put it better, it should match. The question is, will it? And then you of course find always that something is not quite alright. And this will give a problem. Let's see how we can cope with it. Now it won't turn, but I need a clamp on this side. I need a clamp here, because now it can shift anyway. But regarding the distance, this is now the same, and that is what it is about. So I need one clamp here as well. And then I'll have to see if the rope stays in place. But at least this is the idea. Then I can also see if my idea works at all. So let's get one and test. So let me try to get this done nicely. First this clamp on, then back in place, this one, this stays nicely, and then I find that it is actually not nice. Because the wheel needs to be closer to the gear. So now it is actually off. And I didn't expect that to happen. Okay, a little push towards the middle. Does it? And yes, the wires interrupt the propeller, but I don't care for now. Now they are working, should work. So let's engage the motor again. I want to take off the power for now. That is better. That's one connector, and I'm taking the whole connector off, and that's not the idea either. So where does it go? It goes right here. Now the curious thing is, will it actually work? Well, the motor works in any way, so that's one thing. Now the question is, will the rope do anything? And that is a very good question. So, one thing off. And this is really going a little bit awkward. That is one part. And now drop in here. That is one thing. Connectors back in place again. What works or what doesn't, I'll show you. And this goes out again, and I can tell you it does not work as I intend. Oh, now it does, more or less. But I need a firm wire here. And then you can see that the idea is there. but I need to replace a wire here to a longer wire, so everything is actually better. So the idea is there, but I'm not there yet. After some more stabilization, it kind of works, because right now you see that the gear is working, but when I give it a little push, it actually works, and then sometimes it hangs. And with that, all the electronics, like these two motors with propeller, and this of course works. And then we focus on these two LEDs, which get an extra flash upon touching, and that extra flash I want to do with these motors, but then from this one. So now the new focus is to get the signal from the board port or pin 10, and now it stops again, and that is too bad, but in general it works. And then let's interrupt these motors. The problem with that is that when the power is interrupted, this motor starts always, and this motor has to get some manual assistance, put it that way. But in general, like now this again, it ought to work. And as you can see, I put some orange jump wires, which are just lengthy enough, long enough to have this working. So let's see if the software can be put to work. So let's take a look there. In the previous segment I said that the input to the new switch was 10, but I already put it to 9, so let's keep it that way and have it commented to input switch for in motor interrupt. And then have this input switch for LED flash, to make things clear. And I already have this, so I'm going to do this now. Motors with propeller or motor with propeller, I don't mind very much. So where do I go? Where am I going to put it? This is value digital. And where am I sending it to? That is a very interesting question. Actually, I'm doing it just here. If the value is high, then I send something to this to right, and if it is low, I don't do that. So what I should actually do, and where are the motors coming from? They are coming from 4, and let's be very clear, they are coming from 4 and 2, and those are these two, so, and those are analog writes. So the point is that what I need to do is interrupt this. So let's say if sensor value digital 9 is high, then let's say, or low, that is maybe a better start. Come on. Then this will be, and if sensor value digital 9 is high, and let's copy this, saves. Alright, and now I need to say to set it to 0. So let's make it 0. And now the question is, will this actually work? Well, this is only for pin 4, while I have 4 and 2. And the question is which, so I'm looking at the fastest running motor that doesn't need manual assistance, so and that is 2. So I start with 2, and let's see what happens. No program errors. Let's check. So with the code now actually active, it's waiting for this propeller to stop. This one hasn't been in action now. It's really this one, which is here. Am I right with that? Yes, it is this one. It's going here to pin 2. Now this one is running, but it needs some assistance. And what I notice is that it is probably too fast, too short. Now what I can do is hold it oops, and then I put pressure on the gear, so I shouldn't do that. But what you notice is that it actually doesn't work. This motor just keeps running. So probably I should give another idea, but how? And this motor doesn't work at all now. which is coming from pin 4. So it has no effect. Does it actually notice this switch? Therefore I'm going off camera and look at the serial monitor. And unfortunately it is running so fast that I can't distinguish 0 from 1. But it is obvious that in this case, well, while this is running nicely, the motor interruption doesn't really work. So I assume I need some more time to stop it, which is a nice experience. So let's get back to the code. And by the way, I can see that this knot is driving it forward. So that's also a nice solution. So right now it is quite clear that despite the nice functioning of the new gear, the propeller is not being stopped, or which has as a cause that a motor needs some time to hold. So I need to put a delay. And a delay is quite easily set as delay, so that's what I'm going to do right here. I'm putting a delay of, how much time should I need? 3 seconds? Let's try that. In the meantime, I also can put here a line for pin 4. So I'm going to copy it, pin 4, and this will be here for 0 and pin 4. The only difference is of course that the motor on pin 4 needs manual assistance to get running anyway, so when it stops we will see it. So does this work? I think so. Let's compile. And let's see if something actually happens in the serial monitor. That goes by very, very fast. And unfortunately, upon the new testing, the fast running motor doesn't stop. But what I do notice is that the motor that doesn't run fast and needs manual assistance gets a jolt each time the switch is being activated. So it actually does have some effect. The question is which effect, and how can I make sure that, so this one shows effect and this one doesn't yet. Do I need to give it more Yes, I'll just do that. Delay of 5. And the motor still does not stop at all. Maybe it just flinches a little bit, but that is it. So that's not what I intended. Now I can make, let's see, no if and no if. Let's just take a look again, and this time a little bit better. Do I see a 0 and a 1? Yes, I see here a 1 and I see a 1 and then a lot of zeros and a whole lot of zeros. And both get a 1. So the 1 is definitely signaled, is definitely detected. And here again 12 is detected. No if, that is alright. But what I see is that 12 is detected more often than the other one, than 9. But 9 is here detected as well, and that is of course depending on the fact that the rope needs the knot to get moving again. So I should not hold this for a result, but I still need this motor to get running, or to get stopped and then get running again. But let's take a look at the circuit again. And let's take a look at the circuit now. This is nicely working. As you can see with the knot, it gets a push again. Let's take a look at this motor. If you look closely, then you see that the motor is influenced. It gets a stop, a very short stop, and then it works. This one, I don't see it at all, and they are both in the same if statement. So why is that the case? Maybe because of the inductors here. Could very well be. If you look at the LEDs, they both blink at exactly the same time. So those are influenced by the switch. No doubt about that. If you take a, let me reposition the cam again. If you keep an eye on when the switch is being hit and those LEDs, they are definitely being influenced. And this is the only motor that is definitely influenced, and this one isn't. So the question is why? I'm not quite sure of that. I suspect the presence of the inductors once again. Apart from that, I can consider this experiment as successful. And What shall I do next? I'll have to think about it, but I love it. So with that, I say thank you for watching. Some rewiring done, some modification of the gear to get the wheels aligned, other jump wires, some reprogramming, and it works. Well, kind of, because this motor doesn't yet. Once again, thank you for watching. If you like my videos, then please subscribe to my channel. Also consider a small donation via my website. See also my Instagram. On my website you can find much more information, other projects as well, and this is certainly going to be continued in some way, additional electronics or whatever. So let me show you some more. This is the original chain board, all the wires, a new one, nicely working, and the motors. Bye bye.